All right, it's 7:40 in the morning. I just got home. I got there and there was this Perry that a Perry is like somebody who's being transferred from an outside hospital to our hospital. They had just landed and then the attending comes in and they're just like, "All right, they're super complex. Who wants them?" And I was like, sure. I feel like my co-resident has had some tough nights. And the issue with my patient was that the hospital that sent the patient over didn't provide detailed discharge paperwork. So there's this medication summary that it's supposed to say like all of the medications that they've had at their hospitalization, and they only sent the home medications over. So I didn't know when their last dose of antibiotic was, and that kind of matters because this patient had osteomyelitis and discitis. Yeah, I got help from my senior to kind of tie up some of those loose ends. And anyway, yeah, that admission ended up taking me like 5 hours, which is insane, but there was just like, there was so much to this person. And then my next admissions took like an hour or less. Super easy. One like had a peg tube that became dislodged. And then what was my other one? Oh, cellulitis. Cellulitis. Yeah, easy peasy. Oh yeah, I'm just like trying to work on my efficiency at this point. I've been making smart phrases or dot phrases for everything. After seeing a patient with cellulitis, I made a cellulitis smart phrase. So basically, it's sort of a template for any patient that comes in that has cellulitis. It's just kind of a starting point. That way things can like speed up when I see other patients. Okay, here's one thing. When I go to see patients, historically, it has taken me like a really long time to see patients. I think it's because I ask too many open-ended questions. In medical school, you learn that you're supposed to ask open-ended questions, let patients tell you their stories. And then I've come to realize over the years that patients don't tell you the story that you need to hear. I want to listen to people, right? And I want to take my time with them. But at the same time, if you're spending a bunch of time, they're not going to end up getting the care that they need. And I started just verifying with people like, it sounds like you came in for this. Have you experienced this? Or are you experiencing this? And then another thing is with patients' medication lists. I just go in there and I ask, do you have a medication list? Oftentimes they do, and I can just cross-reference and make sure that I have everything in their MAR that needs to be in the MAR, or just like everything in their record that needs to be there. Otherwise, you end up spending so much time verifying one by one, which is fine. I just killed a lot of time doing that. I'm still trying to get more comfortable with interrupting people. People don't say interrupting, but it is interrupting. But I'm trying to get more comfortable with directing patients in the conversation. And if things are going off track too much, directing them. And like the reality is that I have a lot to do. I have a lot of patients. I have like not a lot of time. And if I let people talk for too long, other people won't get the care that they need. And I end up staying late. My attending ends up staying late, like blah, blah, blah. If I don't just kind of direct the conversation better. And then also before I go to see a patient, if they're a peri, I look at their discharge paperwork. I try to see kind of all of the conditions that they have going on and really try to get an understanding of them before I go to see the patient. Oh, I started dictating. It has saved so much time. I dictate away. I'm still working on that soft voice though, because I'm in a small room with people and I hate being rude and like dictating, but like, man, oh man, dictating helps a lot. That's kind of about it. I'll let you know if I think of other things to make the workflow better, but I would say main things are like the smart phrases, guiding patients in the conversations, and dictating. I'm actually liking nights. It's more fun and enjoyable when you have time to do things. My first admit was like pretty crazy and hectic, but the following admits were kind of satisfying because I had already seen a patient before that had a peg tube dislodged. So I had an idea of what to do. I've already seen patients with cellulitis before. I kind of had an idea of what to do. It starts becoming fun when you kind of have an idea of what's going on. Although it's also really fun just learning things and seeing new things. But like, I think there's like fun when you kind of get to get in the groove. That's how my day went. And now I'm going to go to sleep and wake up at like 4:30, maybe 4, and do it all over again. All right. See you in the next one.